Okay, guys, we got some breaking news right now. I'm going to need all of you to like and share this video, every single person, because this is classic example of communist Canada, and it's going to bring back a lot of negative memories from COVID-19. So there's a musician out there, right, who's supposed to be performing. This video is absolutely blowing up. There's a musician out there who's supposed to be performing in Montreal. He's from the United States, Sean, and I mean, he's not because of some public pressure. His show is canceled and people are labeling him as MAGA. And we all know how much the woke left hates Americans that are just in Canada doing anything associated with Trump. And it's crazy because this was a church in Montreal was gracious enough to host him and allow him to perform in the building. And that's what they were planning on doing tonight. And now a bunch of police have shown up and they are abusing their power. They're swarming the church. They're forcibly entering the building without authorization. This is absolutely freaking insane. You can see already here over 100,000 views in not even an hour from when it was originally posted by Rebel News. But before we get into the video, I do have a message from today's sponsor. We find this more and more common where the left says something and the right says something that's the complete opposite. So we always have to ask ourselves a question: where does the truth lie? Well, usually somewhere in the middle, which is why I've partnered with Ground News, because they have a way of cutting through all of the crap and getting right to the middle. Let's use this story as an example where Trump thinks Canadians nasty for avoiding U.S. travel, banning booze, says the ambassador. You can see here with the bias distribution bar that 74% of the sources are left leaning. And when you go and filter by the left, you can see that it's all about Canadians being proud to be called considered nasty, defending it. It's just a very biased take. And when you go to the right, you can see a little bit more of an objective take as to why Trump made those comments. This is why it's actually important to take opinions from the left and opinions from the right so that you can see the truth lying right square in the middle. And it gets better because my favorite feature of Ground News is actually called the blind spot feature. I use this feature a lot to structure my videos. It'll actually tell you for the left and for the right stories that you would have otherwise missed. That's why it's actually called the blind spot feature. Folks, I'm telling you, this is the best way to get your news because it tells you objectively where the news actually is. And if you want the same plan that I do, which is a Vantage plan, if you click the link down below in the description, the pinned comment below, or scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get yourself 40% off. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at this breaking news story.
So I'm currently at the Spanish church in Montreal. As you know, Sean is supposed to perform tonight, but now there is a lot of police officers who are surrounding the church at the moment. I know that some of them are inside. We know that the city said that they don't have the authorization to perform tonight and they are ready to deliver infraction notice. So we are here, we are following the situation, but I'm showing you some of the footage of the police now trying to enter the church.
C'est que l'article 176 du Code criminel canadien est très clair. Quiconque veut interrompre une célébration religieuse est passible de 2 ans de prison. Ça veut dire que n'importe quel de ces policiers-là, et on a déjà évoqué cette vidéo n'importe quel de ces policiers-là qui veut empêcher une célébration religieuse, les films pour être sûr qu'ils sont loin sur caméra, sont passibles de 2 ans de prison. Selon l'article 176.
What the heck? You can't just break into a church. This would never happen, by the way, if it wasn't a church. This wouldn't have happened if it was a synagogue or a mosque, but because it's a church, they don't care. And the police just do whatever it is that they want.
Vous allez filmer, vous allez parler Skype, mais je vais rester là.
Absolutely freaking disgusting. The mayor of Montreal also said that she would do everything in her power to block the musician from performing. This is unbelievable. And it's so wrong on just every freaking level. It's giving me all of these freaking COVID flashbacks, man. Anybody else having these flashbacks? It's gross. Of course, this is happening in Canada, right? Of course. I mean, you'd see the cops literally patrol the streets and find anybody in Montreal that was outside after 9 p.m. during COVID. And when they swarm the churches for a crime of gathering on Sundays, there's even Antifa protesters right outside the church while all of this is going on. What are the police doing about it? They're too busy prosecuting Christians in Quebec, for crying out loud.
We are now standing inside of the church because the police lost control of the crowd. As you can see, they were supposed to be on the other side of the streets, but now they are stepping and blocking the traffic. And you see the police, instead of asking them to go to the other side of the street, they literally just put a barricade, orange line to prevent them to go close to the church. But in reality, they should have asked them to stay at the opposite side of the street, but you can see the police have lost control. Now this lady, an Antifa lady, is now staying on the stair, despite the police saying that if we are staying on the stair, we will be arrested for obstruction of their job. But you see double standard again. Why she's not being arrested while they actually told us that. And now we have people with Palestinian flag.
This is ridiculous.
They all sing like everybody hates the fascists. And we have like some people with kepiye, people giving point fingers.
Yeah, terrorist sympathizers. And if you thought that was bad, it gets absolutely worse. An actual smoke bomb went off inside the church. That's right. One of these Palestinian nut jobs threw a freaking smoke bomb inside the church where this American musician was supposed to be playing. Are you kidding me? Yeah, there he is. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. We're going to pause it because of copyright, or we're going to mute it because of copyright noise. But they're setting off smoke bombs inside of the church, ladies and gentlemen. This, and people are having to leave. Good, honest Christians, Canadians, because of this ridiculousness. I mean, this would never happen. Are you kidding me? Imagine a smoke bomb going off in a mosque. Never would be tolerated. In a synagogue, never would be tolerated. Where's the prime minister when it comes to this? Where's our government when it comes to this? You have full-blown outrage right now at a church, and this is an ongoing development. Right? So who knows what's happened by the time this video has gone up. Maybe they try to burn it down, which is actually a problem in Canada because churches are being burnt down by arson, by terrorists left, right, and center, and our government does nothing about it. Christianity, ladies and gentlemen, in the West is under attack, and our government doesn't give a shit. This is God's land. This is a Christian country, yet we're being invaded with this ridiculous, subpar human scum, and our government allows this type of behavior. For freaking crying out loud, it's just, it pisses me off. Here's some more videos. You've got police making some form of arrest, taking some people down, while the Palestinian protesters are still outside obstructing the police. And I mean, a little bit of a better police presence taking place, but not by a whole lot. Masked vigilantes, mass vigilantes everywhere want to hide their identity. Be unfortunate if their jobs, were on the line for their attendance at this stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. Craziness. lawlessness here in Canada, and it's absolutely disgusting because nothing from our prime minister, nothing from our government officials, nothing from the Liberal government. Police are not making any statements. Police are not making any real arrests. It's all just catch and release, and they just get a little slap on the wrist. No accountability. Smoke bombs, really, vandalism to a church in Canada, and it's always towards somewhere in Montreal. I mean, it's always in Quebec or something like that that's under attack. Nothing ever happens. This country is a joke. Our law system is a joke. These Palestinian protests are turning into a joke. Canada doesn't and should not tolerate this crap. This is a country built off of churches. That's what we believe in. You're allowed to have other religions in this country, but you're not allowed to vandalize churches. You're not allowed to burn down churches. You're not allowed to set off smoke bombs in our churches. Get the hell out of here. Begin the deportations right now. America has alligator Alcatraz. We should have some sort of polar bear mafia. You know what I'm saying? Make a freaking ice cave up in the north, send all of our bad citizens there and surround it by polar bears. Ain't nobody getting in and ain't nobody getting out.